Hello everybody, Sean Baker just released his fourth feature, Anora. It was the winner for the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, which is usually a pretty good indication that I'm going to like a film. The Cannes Film Festival has a far better track record than the Oscars, so yes, many people are calling this the best movie of the year. So what did I think about it? Also, no spoilers for this video, I don't really feel like I need to. I'll talk about the premise, but that's pretty much it. Anora is about a sex worker in Brooklyn named Anora, but she prefers to go by Annie, whose ability to speak Russian comes in handy when a 21-year-old son of a Russian oligarch comes into her club. Ivan, or Vanya, takes a liking to her, and after paying for her to spend a week with him as his quote-unquote very horny girlfriend, he decides to marry her. I was enjoying the film a lot at the beginning as a sort of hedonistic retelling of Cinderella, but it's the inevitable conflict that this marriage has that really made me fall in love with it. Annie is a great protagonist because while her relationship with Ivan is obviously kind of delusional, the movie isn't demeaning towards this character. I love Sean Baker's presentation of characters. He obviously has points that he's making with them, but the films never shove it down your throat. The films are always made in a way that doesn't insist that you feel a specific way about any of the characters, it just shows them for who they are and you're allowed to feel however you want about them. That sort of presentation shows a lot of maturity in a director to me, and the performances he gets in this film shows a lot of care and attention to detail. Every character and performance in this film is great. There are lots of very insignificant characters that are brought to life by great performances. In most films, little characters like these would just exist to give a couple of lines of dialogue, but in this film, those roles are perfectly casted and performed with lots of character. They're not just vehicles for dialogue. Sean Baker clearly took time with these actors to make sure every single character felt real and defined. They all felt like they had lives going on outside of their small appearances, and that's a really rare thing for a film to achieve. There was even a character who doesn't even say a line of dialogue in the movie and somehow still managed to leave an impression on me. There's just so much authenticity given to all of Sean Baker's movies, so with that being said, the characters who actually did have larger roles were all obviously fantastic as well. Excuse me for my horrible mispronunciations. Vonche Tovmansson and Mark Eldenstein were absolutely hilarious. Mark Eldenstein really felt like a very authentic representation of this sort of immature young adult who doesn't really care about anything. Yuri Borisov was fantastic. There's lots of subtleties in his performance that made me really enjoy his character. I found him incredibly likable and funny. Mikey Madison obviously had the hardest job and totally nails everything she was asked to do. But Karen Karagulian honestly stole the movie for me. He's been in all of Sean Baker's movies, but this is by far his best performance in my opinion. And it's probably my favorite comedic performance I've seen all year. He really killed it with this movie. The comedy in the film often comes from the incompetence on the character's part, which was ridiculous, but in a way that felt like it could happen in our very silly world. It was never too over the top. It was the perfect level of goofy that made me and the rest of the audience lose our minds. The movie kind of reminded me of the Coen brothers films like Fargo, memorable characters and performances from everyone, tons of funny memorable lines, lots of clever shots and great blocking and framing of the characters, and great dramatic moments. I felt like as Anora went on, it forced me to take its premise more and more seriously. The tone and pacing changed significantly as the film went on, which I think was a problem for some people, but I loved that. I felt like the pacing was a great reflection of how the protagonist was feeling. Sometimes it was nauseatingly fast, and sometimes it was uncomfortably slow. But the characters are so watchable and the writing is so good, it's still never boring. I have one very minor complaint with the movie, which is an audio complaint I have all the time. If you have your actors in an environment that's supposed to be loud, have them say their lines as if it's loud in there. Make them say their lines as if there's loud music going on if you're going to add loud music in post. People always use this example from The Social Network.
Do you ever think about that girl?
What girl?
The girl from high school who was with the lacrosse thing.
No!
But like, seriously, why is David Fincher the only person who's able to make this work? There were multiple scenes in this movie where characters spoke as if they were in a grocery store when they were supposed to be in a loud club, so talk like you're in a loud club. There's also some weird fake-sounding background chatter, and it was a little distracting for me. Anora is one of the best movies of the year. It's not my personal favorite, that would be The Substance, but I still loved it, and you should go see it as soon as possible. I'd give this 4.5 stars. My next video will actually be about The Substance, and I'm going to do something a lot more in depth for that film. Anyways, take care everybody, bye!